what proves Muhammad's existence. Because Muhammad said, after me is Ali, and he is your master after me. He will lead the people after me. But majority of the Muslims, the Sunni Muslims, which is 90% of the world, they disregard this. So there's only 10% Shia Sufi, right, which are the minorities. And since the majority is powerful, right, the Sunnis are more powerful since they have the books, since they are the Salafis, and they're producing the books, right, by Ibn Taymiyyah, which was a scholar. So Ibn Taymiyyah, who curses, right, these, or calls us kuffars, right, or disbelievers, which is coming down from Ibn Taymiyyah. So these Qurans has been corrupted, and all this even Al-Bukhari, which is a Sunni's book, right, which I'm familiar with, and all of that shit, right, has been basically narrations, which is basically scholars, right, in Muslim community, in the Islam or Islamic scholars, they argue which is authentic and which isn't authentic, right? This is where the argument begins, and you will see if Ali is the Imam, or Abu Bakr was the Muhammad said that and anyone besides Ali, since Ali is Ali is a what they call a Khawarij, or a outcast, and they don't accept Ali as any being of authority of Islam. They do not accept his imamat. Imamat means the one to be rightly guided. So I'm just concluding the fact that Ali is what proves Muhammad's existence.
Okay, hold that thought, because I actually wanna grab my laptop here, since I don't have my desktop, because I want to show you some things.
Right.
So give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second in regards to Islam, but I heard what you said, and I'm going to ask you, outside of refute that, you said Ali is the one who proved Muhammad's existence, correct?
Because he himself existed. Because he's the divinely guided leader.
Okay, now let me ask you a question.
Right.
Please tell me that this shit is charged. Okay, boom, my laptop is charged. While I'm waiting on my laptop, let me ask you a question. Outside of referencing the alleged lifespan of other people, outside of referencing books allegedly written by people, do you have any physical evidence proving the existence of Muhammad?
No, cause I mean, I would say my only existence is that he had a tomb in the Great Mosque. That's it.
So this is the same thing with Jesus.
Right, there's no body, so I guess, I'm proving something that I guess I don't really believe in.
Yeah, I want to just make sure we're on the same accord there. But I'm getting ready to respond in a second. I'm just pulling up something on my laptop so that I can show you. I wish I had my computer here, but it's in the shop. But I just want to be on the same accord that we are.
Nah, I understand you, man. I know.
Yeah, okay. But I'm going to respond to this in a second, because if there's no physical proof that Muhammad existed, okay, then that means that the Quran and all in the Hadith and all of these books that he allegedly wrote are a question, correct? Because how could Muhammad have written a book in 6th century AD if we can't even prove that there was a Muhammad?
The Quran wasn't even written until 100 years after he died.
I would say that the Quran was written way even later after that. I would even say that Mecca and these other alleged cities and holy sites was built 1,000 years after his death myself. So I would even date it to later than that. But the point I'm trying to make is Muhammad not accredited with writing the Quran?
That's true. He didn't write it. It was revealed from God unto him. It was just a revelation that he got from the astral realm.
Okay, so why is Muhammad being accredited with writing the Quran if you yourself don't even believe the Quran was written until after his death?
I don't. But why do I deny the fact? Is because the Usman or the people, or he had his companions, right? Which he went and go talk to them of what he had the Quran, since he was the walking Quran, and he spoke to them that he had this Quran, right? It wasn't really. It was a book, right? But it wasn't compiled into a book. It was first manuscripts. Right, it was all manuscripts. Then it turned into a book, and some of the manuscripts don't even match up with the Quran today. So it's basically tampered. So he didn't write it himself. It was revealed unto him. The Muslims don't say he wrote it because he was illiterate. He didn't know how to read and write.
I don't know. I would agree with that. Okay, so my point is pulling up. Okay. As you can see, I'm pulling something up. I don't want you to think I'm bullshitting. It actually just came up.
Okay.
Okay. Now, we already just, you said you don't have any proof that Muhammad existed, so there's no really need to go down that lane, so I guess I'll just touch on other things. Okay, so let me ask you a question, right? Because we want to deal with Islam.
Mm-hmm.
If you, even without proof that Muhammad existed, right, you do believe that he existed and the alleged history of Muhammad is indeed factual, correct?
That
in regards to his life, do you believe that Muhammad married a woman named Aisha?
Yes. Yeah, I know where you're going with it. That he's a pedophile and all that other shit.
Do you or do you not subscribe to a pedophilic deity?
He was a perfect man to other than the Sunni Muslims, because other than the Sunni Muslims, they don't say he ever married.
I'm not even saying the Sunni. I'm asking you. Do you believe?
No, I think it's completely wrong. I don't even believe he even had sex with him at 6. I don't think that ever happened.
He didn't. He had sex with her at 9.
But the scholars have also allegedly said that it's been at least around when she was 15. You can look that up.
Scholars said that he married her at 6, okay, and he had sex with her at 9, okay, and even in the alleged words of Aisha herself, okay, and in the Quran, it says that Muhammad came and had sex with her at 9 years old, okay, and so that's just that. That's just what it is. Now, on top of that, okay, I'm asking you, even if you said she was 15 years old, Muhammad was a grown-ass man.
I know that.
Okay, and so my thing is, do you subscribe to a pedophilic deity?
No.
And why do you believe you don't? Because would you yourself, if you was the age of Muhammad, would you have sex with a 6-year-old, a 9-year-old, or a 15-year-old?
No.
Why not? Because you know it's wrong, right?
Right. But
okay. So if you know it's wrong, and you know that Muhammad allegedly did something that you wouldn't do, why would you subscribe to Muhammad as a holy deity?
I subscribe as a holy deity because I would say he has married her, but it's still very vague that that the people who have authority over when there's a sexual intercourse. I know that he married Aisha, but there are from ages 9 to 15, right? Which is, she's still a minor, right? But as of today in the Western world, you're an adult at 18. So
yeah, but you ain't no motherfucking adult at 6, 9, or 15. So I'm still waiting for you to see where you're going with this.
I say that if you look up the scholars and you check them, they're all 90% Sunni. There is no Sufi, Ismaili, Hanafi, Hanbali. It's only Sunnis. So there's other people who say it's actually a little older than it actually seems to be when they had sexual intercourse. Amar Nakshwani is one of the scholars that said is probably a little bit older than that, several years older than that, when they actually had sexual intercourse. But the relationship with Aisha was bad too, because that was not his main wife. His main wife was Khadija. That was...
Okay, so let me ask you a question. What are you here to do? Because you just said you don't have any proof that Muhammad existed, so scratch that. We just acknowledged that Muhammad is a pedophile that you still choose to subscribe to. So what are you here to do? Let me know.
I'm saying from the belief system I came out of, that he married her. I don't know what. I don't know exactly at what age.
Are you here to prove the existence of Muhammad or no?
There's Ali is the successor of Muhammad, and Ali is just as of a fantasy character as Muhammad, but nobody studies it. But so my question...
Go ahead. Your question to me will be what?
The question is... my question is that how is that the people who study Muhammad and his biography is, his main wife was Aisha, and dismiss everything else what he did, but since he is this prophet, a messenger of the Most High, right? Another a person who is of divine essence is Ali. So if Ali exists, then Muhammad exists, because after another divine being came was...
You just said that Ali was also a fantasy character.
I can't really say that because I contradicted myself, because he's the fourth caliph, which is already proven in history.
Well, I agree with you when you say you contradicted yourself. Let me make this interesting before I go into the next person. I'm going to assume that you are of Arabic descent, correct? Would that be correct to assume?
Nah, I'm actually of South Indian descent.
Okay, so you're South Indian.
Which is Dravidian.
Yeah, okay, perfect. I was just gonna go there. So, let me ask you this, okay? I'm gonna ask you this just because you're on the line. Do you believe that you're a human being?
Yes.
So, scientifically speaking, you would be classified as a human being, or would you be classified as a Neanderthal?
I would say human beings, because there was the Indo-Aryan invasion that happened in India, which were the only outsiders, and before them there was only Dravidians, which were living more off-grid, and they had darker skin pigment. They were 6 ether melanated beings too.
Okay, now here's why I come to disagree with you. Aryans are other classified forms of European, and you are a Neanderthal, okay, genetically speaking. Now, the reason that you are a Neanderthal is because you have monkey genetics. Now, this is not being racist. Let me give my disclaimer. This is dealing with science, and I say that because I believe it's important for everybody to know where they come from. A Dravidian is a Neanderthal. They're the first form of Neanderthal, okay? And then after the Dravidian, there's Asian people, which are Japanese people, Korean people, Chinese people, etc., aka Mongoloids. And then after Mongoloids, aka Asians, you have Caucasians, okay, aka Caucasoids. And so, outside of your phenotype group or your genetic chromosomal structure for your subject matter, over here you have this. You guys are over here. Over here you have African people, or what you would call the real Indian Aboriginal people, because you're not a real Indian. And so I have to say that so that you can have some understanding of who you are. But the Indian people and the African people who will be my descendants, my ancestral descendants, aka the descendants of the mitochondrial Eve gene, okay, those would actually be humans. So if you don't believe me, you can go to the 2011 June or July issue of Macrobiology and Evolution. Okay, look it up. And it states in there clearly that if you are not of African descent, you are not a human being. You are only 93% human being and 7% Neanderthal at max. Okay? And so, I can show you many anatomical references or physiological references of your people which show the Neanderthal gene present in your physiological self. And so the reason I say that is because I wanted to go somewhere, because I know you said, before that area, there was no other form of outside invasion. But you guys actually were the first form of outside invaders, because there was black melanated African people over there before you.
The Adamans?
I'm gonna let you answer the question before I go there, because I know I dropped a lot on your head, and I don't want to jump off the subject, because like I said, I'm getting ready to put somebody else on, because we already nullified our point on Muhammad, so I don't want to do what I did yesterday and go 50 minutes with somebody on other subjects. But if you want to respond to that, you can. If you didn't know that and you feel like you learned something new, we can, you can speak on that, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring on the next person.
Nah, I knew that a long ass time ago. So here's my answer.
So if you knew that a long time ago, why when I asked you, do you consider yourself a human? Why didn't you just say no? I'm a Neanderthal.
Because I don't believe that India was ever invaded. But until this Indo area.
Were always in India.
The what? The Dravidians?
Yeah, so you believe that Dravidian people was just always in India minding their own business?
No, they were a mutation off of the Nagas mixed with the Proto-Australoids. And then that's how you bring the Dravidian.
Okay, now, let me ask you another question. Same question. So when I asked you, did you believe you were a human being, and you knew in your mind you was a Neanderthal, why didn't you just say I'm a Neanderthal?
Because the Dravidians don't have Neanderthal. Alright, I'm a Neanderthal. Okay, I'm a Neanderthal. So I have 6 ether hair, which makes me a Neanderthal, which is a mutation. I would also say that the Native Americans, which are
you said you have 6 ether hair.
Yeah.
Does your hair look like mine?
No, that's 9 ether.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question. Wait, never. I'm not even gonna jump into that. Keep going.
All right. So the Dravidians, right? Or even like Berbers, Dravidians and Berbers, and the Native Americans that have straight hair, the typical Native American with straight hair, I would say nearly have the same DNA, because they're not Rh negative, which is rhesus monkey blood, and they are rhesus monkey positive, because over time
is that animal based hair follicles coming out of your scalp right now? Yes or no?
Yes, because I've mutated.
Okay, so when we're talking about 6 ether hair, 9 ether hair, okay, what makes your hair, allow you to fluctuate in a metaphysical level are melanated tissue receptors known as dimple antennas. So if you know you're of Neanderthal structure, okay, let me ask you a question. Does a primate or a monkey have dimple antennas?
Is that within the brain?
No, it's not within the dimple antennas are not located within the brain. No, they're not.
I don't know.
Okay, a dimple antenna is located within the internal and external layers of the skull. And so your genetic and biological makeup is totally different from mine. And so when we talking about connecting to the ether, having 6 ether, 9 ether hair, I would need for you to prove that your hair holds an electrical charge, okay? And I would need for you to prove the existence of a certain genetic composition which will link you to a certain, let's say, module of ancestry, okay? Because when we talking about being divine spiritual beings, we don't want nobody swagger jacking or cultural jacking. And so the reason I asked you, did your hair look like mine, okay? Because this, okay, is not Neanderthal or animal-based hair. This is not fur coming out of my head. This is considered flocculence. And so when we talking about speaking to the cosmos and things like that, okay, just like Muhammad, I would need you to prove the existence. I would need you to prove the chemical structure. The chemical composition of yourself, the genetic composition of yourself, okay, and the structure of your hair and its ingredients, to which would allow you to conduct an electrical charge and be able to reference the cosmos through your hair. I would need that. I would need that because I would have to. If that's the case, I would have to ask you: does a chimpanzee have 6 ether or 9 ether hair? And your answer would be yes or no.
Can I explain yes or no after I say yes or no? Can I explain?
I just want to know: would you say a monkey in the jungle has 6 or 9 ether hair?
No.
Okay then. So now, if you just confirm that you have Neanderthal, aka primate hair coming out of your skull,
right?
And you're a Neanderthal, how in your mind do you think you got 6 or 9 ether hair?
Isn't 6 ether hair straight?
We talking about octaves of the cosmos. 6 ether and 9 ether hair does not denote straight or curly hair. We talking about 6 ether and 9 ether are metaphysical terms. So we're not gonna turn a metaphysical term into a physical capacity definitive.
Okay.
Those are different octaves of what people call reaching the ether, reaching the cosmos. And so you have to have a certain physiological structure to be able to impute the cosmos. Okay? This is why some people get skin cancer from the sun, because they can't their bodies can't process what is called ultra fast internal conversion, which is where the neuromelanin within the epidermis layer of their skin converts 99.9% of sunlight, okay, in ultraviolet rays evenly throughout their body. And so we talking science here. We're not talking metaphysical terms that we can say what we want them to mean. And so we talking about you having Neanderthal hair protruding out of your skull. We would need to know how and if this conducts an electrical charge at a velocity that allows you to access the cosmos. And then do you have a genetic attachment to certain spiritual deities through your descendancy? And I would say hell no. But whatchamacallit, I'm pretty sure
I'm familiar with this teaching. I watched all your videos on this.
Okay.
Right. So I say no, right, since I have dog follicle hair, right, according to your teachings.
No, so let's be scientifically correct. Let's say K9 and Neanderthal.
All right, yeah, animal K9 and Neanderthal. I was close enough. So
okay,
I have K9 and Neanderthal hair, and then when it rains, I smell like wet dog, don't I?
You tell me.
Well, my mother, let me tell you something. My mother, right, she said when I stink, I smell like goats, I guess. But they kind of smell like sheeps. You can laugh, I don't give a fuck. But, and then, okay, right, so yeah, I have apparently, you know, dog hair, which I thought 6 ether, 9 ether hair is, has to do with, you know, with the ether, my connection to the cosmos, right, which is what it means, right? So what I'm saying is that, to cut to the chase,
Young Fowl, you's a funny mo.
There's only 15% of Caucasians or non-Africans that are human beings, and 85% of them have no soul.
Where that's coming from?
From your teachings.
Okay, when we talking about soul, we talking about melanin being condensed sunlight and it only being acquired through natural, universal, or cosmic processes. So your soul comes from the solar system. And melanin, once again, is condensed sunlight. So if you don't have that, okay, a piece of the solar system, aka the sun, okay, you don't have a soul. So let's be all the way 100 with the teaching without me going all the way into it.
Right.
Right.
Alright, so I say yes or no, or do I just...
I don't know. I don't even know where you're going with that.
Alright, so what I'm trying to go with is, right, how can you calculate that that it makes sense that you put it in that ratio because a lot of Caucasians or non-Africans have a Caucasian mindset to be in a system which is oppressing black people, which are the superior beings who are the original.
What did I put in a ratio?
The 15% non-Africans or Caucasians are human beings, and the rest of the 85% are not.
I didn't say that. I said 80 to 85% of Caucasian people are born with calcified pineal gland. That's what I said.
And the pineal gland is the door to your soul. So if it's calcified, there is no soul inhibiting the body.
And where are we going with this?
I'm trying to go with like so my pineal gland is calcified is what I'm getting out of this conversation, right? So I guess no matter what I do, no matter if I try to be in tune with nature, if I try to be in tune with the sun, get the maximum amount of sunlight energy, and I don't get burned by the sun. I don't get burned by the sun. I could live along the sun as much as I was out here playing basketball on a court straight under the sun for over 12 hours a day. So I could live under the sun. And I ate meat, and I ate a whole bunch of bullshit that could cause me cancer, and nothing happened. So I definitely have melanin, not as much as a black person, but now I heard you also talk about toxic melanin.
Or you're talking about you, listen, I think at this point in time, you asking me more than you tell it.
No,
I'm still trying to figure what exactly is we're going with this. What are you asking me? Are you trying to prove that you can exist under the sun?
I'm trying to prove that I'm as much as a human being as you, but vibrating on a lower frequency in this physical flesh.
Listen, that may be true to a certain perspective. I don't want you to think that you belong in a dog kennel, chained up, enslaved because you're a Dravidian. I'm just speaking in terms of genetics. In terms of genetics, you are not just as much as a human being as me. You are not. You are a Neanderthal. That is what you are. Now, morally and ethically, you may be a better person than me. Who knows? Now, morals and ethics and integrity and how you carry yourself as the organism that you are is separate from who you are genetically. Genetically, you are a Dravidian. You are from a race of Neanderthals. Okay? That is what you are. Now, morally and ethically, you may be an upstanding humanoid entity on the planet Earth who deserves a humanitarian award. But I'm not here to make you have low self-esteem or dislike yourself because of your race descendancy. I'm just here to tell you the truth about your race descendancy. So if you love being a Dravidian and you love yourself, that's beautiful. Then I'm glad you do. But I'm just here to let you know that there's no way in hell I'm going to downgrade the great astounding origins of my genetics.
I understand.
Right.
I understand. I completely I understand that my ancestors, I want to say that my ancestors are black people with 9-ether hair. But clearly, I don't because I'm a Neanderthal.
And you know your ancestors are not black people. Your ancestors are Dravidian people with Neanderthal hair.
So I came from a laboratory from whatever wicked-ass extraterrestrial has come and manipulated genes from different organism on this planet to make a Caucasian or a non-African.
Let me help you walk you into the steps of your origins, and you tell me if you're natural or unnatural. We just gonna be real here. Can two different species naturally sexually reproduce and create offspring? Yes or no?
Yes.
What?
No. I mean no. I meant no. That's my final answer. No.
Okay. So we can confirm that a monkey and a man cannot naturally produce a baby, correct?
No.
Okay, so if there's no natural way for a human to share 98% of their DNA with a chimpanzee, can we confirm that this would have had to been done unnaturally for this to happen?
No.
Okay, since we can't confirm that, how else could this have happened? If two different species can't naturally sexually reproduce, how can two separate species create an offspring that we today call a Neanderthal humanoid? Okay? How did this happen? I'll give you a chance to explain. How did this happen?
All right. We had the albino that was born in Africa, and the black woman.
The albino is a what? And the albino in Africa.
African.
Okay, it's a humanoid.
Negroid.
Okay, right. So before you continue to say what I know you're about to say, I want you to be conscious of this. I'm throwing you a bone here. The humanoid African albino, you have to explain genetically, okay, how 98% of chimpanzee DNA was introduced into the chromosome structure of the human albino to become a Neanderthal. Okay, to become a Neanderthal. So this is what you're getting ready to have to explain if you go down that road. I'm throwing you a bone. Okay, so choose your next response wisely. Now go ahead.
Okay. So you're saying the colonizers' DNA or the Europeans' DNA infiltrated with the black woman to produce an albino?
No, I'm not saying that. I didn't say anything like that. I said if you getting ready to try to use an African albino to back your story up, you better be ready to explain how human DNA, which is non-Neanderthal, today became infused with Neanderthal DNA as much as 98% chimpanzee DNA. That's what I'm telling you.
Oh, so albino. So I'm indirectly saying, or technically saying, that an albino also has Neanderthal DNA.
That's what you would be having to explain, how it acquired Neanderthal DNA if you were getting ready to use an African albino as a reference point for your genetic origin. So I'll ask the question again. Can you explain how two separate species, being canine and monkey, became introduced, okay, or canine and Neanderthal or primate, to be politically correct, became introduced into the human genome? Can you explain that? How this unnatural phenomenon took place?
Okay. That happened when I would say they were casted out of Africa into Europe when that gene was distributed into there, right? When the albino you mutate, right? You lose melanin when you're outside of the tropic lines, and you lose pigment, and then
is that a fact that you actually lose melanin pigmentation when you leave outside of a certain spectrum of Africa? Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Okay, so now you do know that the word Indian actually is not a race of people. It's a color. Okay, it comes from the word indigo, which means blue-black, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when Caucasoids first came to the Americas and they seen people that were blue-black, when the Portuguese first came and they seen people that were blue-black, they called them indigos, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay then. So if these people were so black that they looked purple, just like they made that movie called The Color Purple, how didn't these people lose pigmentation if they were outside of Africa?
There were also straight hair, hook nose Native Americans.
No, that's not true. That's not true. No, that's not true. That's not true. Those are called $5 Indians. The original Native Americans look just like me and darker. And so I want to ask you again, do I look like I'm losing pigmentation because I'm away from the equator? And if that was true, why is there not an entire race of all light-skinned niggas in America? I just want to let you know that what you are saying is not a proven science. It's a theory used to explain the fictitious origins of all non-black people.
Were there black peoples in cold climates other than Eskimos? Or
do you not know that the original Eskimos were black people?
They were, but I'd never seen an original Eskimo with 9-ether hair. I don't know which images that I only seen ones.
Today, you don't see too many Eskimos because they've been genocided off the planet off that region.
So do I find that in the book?
If we can confirm that the original Eskimos were black people, okay, keyword black, doesn't this prove that living away from the sun does not make you lose your skin color?
I would have to see for myself, but if I look that up, I should look up black Eskimos living in some Arctic climate, and they're black. It doesn't make sense to me. How could you be so dark with 9-ether hair living in an iceberg? And if that's true,
you ever heard of Siberia?
Huh?
Have you ever heard of Hannibal?
Yeah, they were the warriors that went into Europe, and they had an army with elephants.
That's right. And didn't Hannibal have curly nappy hair?
Yes.
And didn't he travel through snow?
Yes.
And didn't he still stay black?
Yes, but was he the only?
Okay, so what is you not understanding about going into a cold climate does not make you lose your skin color? And if that was true, then that would mean the opposite to that alleged science would be true. Which would mean if you go away from the sun, you get lighter. If you come closer to the equator, you will become darker. So why are no white people in South Africa becoming darker?
Because they're not African. They're 95% African and 5% Neanderthal. Because
so even if that was true, okay, why are black people, okay, allegedly, what would be the science behind why we would get lighter away from the sun? I just want to know, like, what chemical process takes place that causes us to lose skin pigmentation as we move away from the sun? I would like
vitamin D deficiency. That's my only answer is vitamin D deficiency, which is a steroid hormone for melanin to produce more the eumelanin in the skin pigment, and a lot of African Americans or black people are suffering from that living in northern climates.
Okay, now I want to let you know that vitamin D deficiency causes what you call SAD, aka seasonal effectiveness disorder, which is due to, because vitamin D helps to stimulate certain chemicals in the brain, which release certain hormones into the body that make people happy and relaxed. And so vitamin D deficiency has been proven to lead to negative statutes and modules of psychology. Yes, it has, but it has never been proven to lead to a black person becoming a light-skinned person and losing skin pigmentation to the point where they would create an entire race of people based off this new skin pigmentation and an entirely new genetically form of a humanoid, a person, based off of vitamin D deficiency. So you telling me that if you vitamin D deficient, you can become a white person? That's basically what you're telling me. Or a Dravidian, or a Caucasian, or an Asian.
Within one lifetime?
Excuse me?
Within one lifetime.
Within 1,000 lifetimes.
Yes.
Because okay, so how can a chemical, okay? No, excuse me, a vitamin. How can a vitamin cause a genetically modified outcome? Okay?
The vitamin D.
How can lack of vitamin D cause the introduction of primate and canine genes into the genome of the African? How? Please let me know how a vitamin can do this.
Alright. Since there is this word vitamin that our oppressors has put on to give you a slight doubt that it wouldn't be melanin, or because even in school they tell you, oh, you can't receive melanin from the sun. You cannot get darker. It's a melanin is produced within your own genome in your body. It's not black people. When you get darker, oh, that's vitamin D. Vitamin D is is when you have an increase in vitamin D to get tan. So when you're here, and so what I'm saying is vitamin D is basically melanin, which is a steroid hormone, which which penetrates your skin. Vitamin D comes from the sun. When it penetrates your skin, it converts into melanin. That is what I heard from Nina DeBlanco.
Vitamin D doesn't penetrate your skin.
It doesn't penetrate my hair?
No. Your body converts certain chemicals into vitamin D.
It comes from the sun.
No. The processes for vitamin D come from the sun. Vitamin D is manufactured and created, okay, through chemical processes in the body. It's like 2 and 3 different levels of vitamin D. The vitamin D that you're talking about is actually level 3. It's called D3. And so there's 2 other previous chemical states of vitamin D, okay, that the body uses, okay, uses through its own interaction with sunlight to create vitamin D.
I'm not getting enough of that vitamin D. So I'm not getting enough of that vitamin D, even D1, D2, D3. So what you explain about vitamin D is SAD, which is, I forgot what it is, SAD, and it takes place.
Seasonal effectiveness.
Yes, and it happens inside of your body, not really penetrating your skin, from what I got from you. And what I'm talking about, which is D3, right? Black people are not getting enough of vitamin D3 within this climate, and Hannibal, I don't even know if Hannibal's army was completely black. Because I watched Deadliest Warrior, and in Deadliest Warrior, there was a whole bunch of Caucasian armies that were...
Yeah, I bet you need to stop watching Deadliest Warriors.
I stopped watching that a long time ago. There probably was a little bit. I also know that Alexander the Great, fought against them, right? And when I saw the movie of Alexander the Greek, he's not great at all. So, I saw when he was fighting them, they looked Hannibal, but I saw like Indian-looking people rather than straight-up black people. But my point is that how does this transform into canine DNA or Neanderthal DNA from albino to that, right? You get it starts from less sunlight, and then you would eat in different ways, which eating from animals would get third party. You would be getting shit third party. Then your DNA would mutate according to the environment due to epigenetics, and it would lead to a mutation from albinos getting straight hair. Then they get monkey or DNA over a certain period of time. Their DNA becomes animalistic, and it becomes infiltrated 5%. But 95%, everyone is African, 95%. 5% were Neanderthal. But we didn't, now what I'm going to go into is splicing, right? Since we've been spliced, I would also will say that the Anunnaki came here and they created humans, and they had to splice themselves with the Homo erectus to create the black woman.
That's not true.
How is it not true?
That's not true. Because the original humanoid form is a black woman. How could a man? They say the Anunnaki who came down here was Enki and Enlil, correct? And Anu, correct?
And Ishtar.
Yeah, and ain't those all men?
Ishtar's a woman deity.
No, Ishtar is allegedly a female, but that's not who they say created the human race. They say Enki, Anu, and Enlil created the human race,
which are male deities.
Okay, so how did a XY chromosome create an XX chromosome? How did that happen?
We don't know what their DNA is. How would their XY chromosome universal in terms of gender and even within?
It's not universal. The X. Do you know what the Y chromosome is?
Yes, it's a mutation. It's a male. It's for. No, I don't. It's a male.
It's called a submetacentric chromosome. It's a male chromosome. An X chromosome is a metacentric chromosome. Sub is for substitute. So the Y chromosome stands for substitute of the metacentric chromosome. So a man is the substitute physical form of a woman. Okay? So womb man was here before just man. And so how could 3 men come down here and create an entity that was here before them? So the Anunnaki story is not fully true. It's a lie. And they also make the Anunnaki seem like Semitic people or Semites. Okay?
Never.
Yes, they do. Okay, the story of the Anunnaki come from what civilization?
The Babylon?
Sumeria, correct?
Yeah.
Is Sumeria not Semitic?
Yes.
And is a Semitic entity not a Neanderthal?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Okay,
Of course
now
it is.
Now you got an alleged Neanderthal civilization that was here hundreds of thousands of years after Egypt, okay, trying to tell the world where they genetically come from when y'all don't even want to acknowledge where y'all genetically come from. How does that work, bro? That's not fair. That's not fair at all. Yeah, it makes you motherfucking think.
It's not fair at all. You're right. It's not fair at all. So I guess this would mean Anunnakis never came to this planet. It was just a mythological story. But even if that's the case,
I would say that it's Neanderthal people once again trying to finesse their way into the divine origins of black people. Okay? Because black people have scientifically been proven to have 147 alien genes. Black women have been scientifically proven to have an entire race of humanoid entities within their genome, which they say is extinct because they've never found any anthropological remains of these beings. Okay, so they classify it as an extinct race of people because they've never found them. But with that being said, no Neanderthal people have been proven to be a descendant of the mitochondrial Eve gene, which in fact is of extraterrestrial origin. And so, how can a Neanderthal being sit here and make up another story about the extraterrestrial origins of themselves when they don't have extraterrestrial origins? Period.
Okay, but we're still grafted from some extraterrestrial, right? So for the Anunnaki.
Y'all have no. We're not gonna say some extraterrestrial because that's an assumption. Can you prove genetically that Dravidian people are of extraterrestrial descent?
Yes, because they're not Homo denisovans. Dravidians aren't Homo denisovans.
What is the specific chromosomal structure in your DNA that you have found to lead you to believe it is extraterrestrial? Let us know.
The polymorphisms I have.
Okay, now name the specific genes that have been identified. That scientists have said, okay, Dravidian people have either one to whatever other number of these specific kind of genes. Can you name them?
I don't know, because the white doctor said there's white and black to divide us, so they won't go into that.
We're not talking about no white doctor. We're talking about your research from any form of intellectual criteria that you want to choose from, whether it's been an article, a science book, a genetic book, a documentary, a YouTube video. What have you seen or watched or heard that has specifically identified a specific number of extraterrestrial genes within your DNA? What? And what are the name of those genes?
No, I don't know. But all I know is...
So from here on out, it's safe to say that you are assuming that you have extraterrestrial origins. Okay?
No, but what I meant was, I didn't come from black people. We did not come from the black woman. The black woman only gave birth to black people and the indigenous people, right? And so what that means is that I'm a foreign species to this planet now. So I'm a foreign species to this planet. I'm an invader. I don't know where I come from. I was just born here, or I was just created here.
You're a hybrid, bro. That's it. You're a hybrid. A hybrid, by definition, is two different organisms who would not naturally come together. Is the offspring produced by two different species who would not naturally sexually reproduce.
But we do sexually reproduce.
You have the DNA of two different species who would not naturally sexually reproduce. Actually, three different species. Okay? And so that makes you a hybrid. And
so how do we have a child?
Okay, you said what?
How do we have a child? How we could have sex with a black woman and have a child that is a mulatto or a light skin.
You can't create a mulatto.
Sandra Liang. Okay, I'm gonna give this a story. Sandra Liang is a South African who was birthed by 2 white parents. You can look that up. But that is what I found. But that happened. That dormant gene within the Caucasian. Apparently, there's some gene that gave birth to a black woman, and is very rare amongst recessive people like that are non-African. And
I don't believe that, and I believe that whole story was full of shit.
Okay, now my last question is now: can I astral project? Or is my pineal gland calcified and there's no way I could have encounters with extraterrestrial deities and have my own realizations and be in tune with higher dimensions?
I don't know you. I don't know what you can do. I can't look inside your skull right now and see if your pineal gland is calcified. All I know for a fact is that you are a Neanderthal hybrid organism on the planet Earth. That is what I do know. Now, what you have been able to do in your spare time in your house and in your personal confines of your own life, I have no clue. I would never tell you what you can and cannot do. I've never studied you, as far as your activities. But genetically, I know that you're not me, and you try to associate yourself with me. Genetically, I know that you are not original entity on the planet Earth. Genetically, I know that you don't have any divine origin on the planet Earth, okay? And so that is what I do know. But Instagram is getting ready to kick me out, bro. So I'm finna jump out of here and jump back in, but I appreciate you pulling up.
Alright, peace.
Alright, peace.